First time setting up this tent, haven't even opened it yet, so let's get her checked out. Got the solid version because I'm going to be using it on a lot of hunting trips that are going to be in those shoulder seasons where we're getting in cold weather in the mountains. But let's check this guy out. So there's the bag, a little thing of tent stakes. This looks like the inside bag. Okay. The inner. Here's the outer. I know you're supposed to set the inner on after you get the outer, so this is that rain fly outer layer. Alright, so in the 10 stake bag, you got long stakes and some shorter ones here. Give them a whirl. Alright, got it roughly staked out. So the holes that actually have plastic pieces in them are where you're going to want to run that stake to get your rectangle started. It took me a minute to figure out, but we're good there. So, got my trekking pole extended how I usually hike with it, right at about 46 and 46 on these Cascade Mountain Tex carbon fiber. And I just open this door, put a foot in there. This has a good little hole here. If you're running tips on your trekking poles, though, you would have to take them off. Then run that guy up. Like so. Got that guy up. Grab the other side. Same deal here. That's set. That's the outer to install the inner. All right, to install this inner, it's just a couple buckles and some guides. Guy out. So you're gonna find the top here. There is a male and a buckle. It attaches to the top here. Let's see if we can find it. Bam. Now we gotta run this to the other side. Find the buckle. Bam. And that's all out. Alright, inner is installed. I don't think I have everything quite right, but that cord goes clear to there. There's that. Let's see. Walking in. I know I don't have this perfect because there's wrinkles, but here we are. I am 6'1", 195 pounds. I got plenty of room, plenty of headroom. I do see it comes to a point there to where like somebody wouldn't have headroom next to you, but with me just by myself, it is ample room. Camp is set up. Got the DURSTON tent holes figured out as good as I can. I don't know if I'm loving it right now, honestly. It's kind of a pain. Freestanding tent's a lot simpler, but heavier. I mean, I don't know. But anyways, got tent set up. Home sweet home. I got soaked last night just with the dew. I don't know. This thing is soaked, so we gotta dry everything out. Been having to dry out firewood to start a fire, but we're getting her going. Alright, So show you some clips of using that this tent in the field. Didn't really do any in-field reviews on it because I was busy doing some hunts and stuff and filming. But this was the X-Mid Solid 2-person. Want a little more room, store gear, and have 2 vestibules. So this is what I ran: 2 trekking poles and that. This is just right about 2 pounds with the trekking poles that are carbon fiber. Use that system. The one thing I just wanted to kind of talk about, go over the stuff I liked and what I didn't like. So basically, I like the packability, how small this thing compressed. You didn't really have to roll it up so it would fit in here. You could just stuff it in the stuff sack and it fit in there, stakes and all. So that worked great. But the thing about using a trekking pole tent, I've never ran one. It's probably the reason I didn't like it. Is I got a bad knee from a rodeo injury and a bad ankle from another rodeo injury, and they do not, like trekking poles, I pretty much need them most of the time unless I have a weapon in my hand and I'm getting, you know, within range or whatever, something's happening quick. But anyways, so basically I had to carry 2 sets of trekking poles to run this, and when I forgot them, then I've taken the tent down, or I had to lay the tent down and use my trekking poles, because I was using it as like a bivvy camp, kind of like with post out with that camp and then hike from there and go hunt. But so I didn't like that I couldn't use my trekking poles or have them. So see, I got an animal, I couldn't, my trekking poles are at my tent back at camp, so I couldn't use the trekking poles to help me stabilize with a heavy load. So I didn't like that. And then I also thought, you know, if I'm using the quick sticks for a shooting rest, you know, I wouldn't have that either. Always have to have 2 sets of trekking poles. So that's kind of what I didn't like about running a trekking pole tent. Also, in one of those clips you saw, I did get absolutely soaked, and the condensation it had rained previously, so everything around me was wet, but like the condensation was super bad, and it took me all morning to dry out the tent, which wasn't ideal. Even the inner layer, you know, maybe it was some things I did that it wasn't setting up the tent right, but shoot, I mean, setting up the tent with Tanner, my buddy there, he had a freestanding tent. He set up in like 2 minutes. Takes me like to get everything pitched right, get the right height, get everything taut. It was a pain. I'm sure you get better at it if you do it a lot. And I ran it most of the bow season, so I thought I'd get pretty good with it. But anyways, this is nice and light. That is the best thing. I'd say this tent's ideal for somebody who's backpacking, not necessarily doing a backpack hunt. Depends if you're trying to cut on weight. This is the way, like, you can save a lot of weight without poles. But really, there are some freestanding tents that do use poles that are not crazy much, like that much heavier than this. And the simplicity and the time that you spend setting up the tent, that is pretty critical for me. Like I'd rather just pitch that tent up. It also has a huge footprint. I went with a 2-person because I liked the idea of having room to store gear inside and in both vestibules. But shoot, that is a huge footprint. You don't really realize, like, you could look at the dimensions online, but until you have to pitch it out in the backcountry where there's not a whole lot of flat spots that are perfectly fit for that, it was a pain. So, like, ideally the construction and everything is pretty cool. I like the idea of it. I'm glad I tried it. But I think I will be going to a freestanding tent or more of a bivvy style tent. It's a little easier, takes up a smaller footprint. This will be for sale. So hit me up in the comments, DM me if you guys want to buy an X-Mid Solid that's been used about 3 or 4 times. Still in good shape, obviously. I mean, it hasn't really been seen a whole lot of use, so yeah, hit me up. But if you have any more questions about the tent or like how I ran it, just DM me or leave a comment in the video and I'll get back to you. So there we are, X-Mid Solid.